Okay, we'll keep it with the driving theme and when things don't work out. Out-of-control teenagers taking over streets across the nation now. Those scenes from Los Angeles, just a glimpse of what cities are dealing with, and it's not just L.A. Right now, city council members in Washington, D.C. are preparing to vote on extending the emergency youth curfew meant to curb these wild events. You're watching Outnumbered. I'm Harris Faulkner, here with my co-host Emily Campagno. Joining us today, Molly Line, Fox News correspondent, Lisa Booth, Fox News political analyst, and with us for the first time, Captain Barry Butch Wilmore, former NASA astronaut and author of Stuck in Space, as astronauts hope through the unexpected. Amazing. Okay, I can't go on with any stories without touching with you. First of all, welcome.
Well, thank you for having me. Thank you. I mean, this is pretty surreal for me. I tied in from space one day. I got my topics were done, or my tasks were done, and I tied into the to the feed. Just turned on my iPad, and Fox News popped up. Outnumbered was on.
You can watch us from space?
She was talking about me. The moment it popped up, Emily was talking.
Emily, that's a big microphone.
I know, very big
No pressure, my friend.
Now I'm in the center of the couch. This is wild.
Okay, but hopefully it doesn't feel as stuck as you did up there.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Well, God bless you and welcome home. I bet you can't hear that enough.
Oh, well, no, Earth is a good place to be. Absolutely.
We're
Absolutely.
fans. All right.
Yes.
Well, you are outnumbered.
I am indeed.
But not outdone.
No, let's go.
Okay, let's get started. Many cities have turned to curfews and other restrictions to try to discourage teenagers, but the trend is now spreading. In the last few months, police in 11 cities have responded to takeover, some of which have turned violent. Many of them events are organized on social media, so they're getting bigger as more people respond. Like this one. Let's take a look. It turned a Wisconsin mall into a madhouse. Videos show hundreds of masked spring breakers invading stores and starting fights. And at least 13 people were arrested in that one. Law enforcement officials are warning viral videos of these events are breeding copycats now. And police departments say they are overwhelmed as a small gathering can devolve into chaos very quickly. Lisa, what's your thought?
Well, I blame Democrats. Full stop. I mean, for decades and years now, they have been leading this breakdown of society from all different vantage points, from a policy standpoint to the narrative around policing, also culturally as well. I mean, you look at the policing angle, all the soft on crime stuff that Democrats have pushed, the elimination of cash bail, abolishing the police, and then you get to culturally with welfare, incentivizing single family homes, punishing marriage as well. You look at the breakdown of God, of, mocking God as well, mocking the family unit. And then you look at the narrative around policing. You could go back to Michael Brown, hands up, don't shoot. President Obama pushed that lie. He said it was a breakdown of, the policing and, really blamed the police throughout the era. You look at Kamala Harris. She went and told Jacob Blake in Wisconsin that she was proud of him, a guy who showed up at his own victim's home to re-victimize her and then pulled a knife on police officers. Kamala Harris also encouraged people to fund the Minnesota Bail Fund as well, and to bail out some of those rioters in Minnesota. Mayor Johnson said that law enforcement was a sickness. So you can go down all the way down the line and see how they have led to this degradation of society and this breakdown of society. So I blame the Democrats, full stop.
You know, my guest last hour, Kelly Stimson, was a former U.S. attorney, Emily, and I thought of you when he talked about consequences, and he said this needs a Pavlovian response.
I like that, the bell with the dog.
Yeah.
If we view this through the lens of these are children, then we need to see that they are victims, and they could be victims. And when we talk about the violence, the nature of the crimes that they're engaging in, it is absolutely horrifying. And if you want to have that party see them for what they will, well, then they should understand that there's an epidemic of opportunity and threats to these kids' safety. Now, if you want to look at it through the lens of them being adults, it makes it all the more frightening, and that's what I think we should do. The enforcement mechanism has been totally gutted here. Arrests mean nothing without actual incarceration and consequences that the attorney talked about. The reality is that we have demoted family court into some type of summer camp for them. There are no consequences. There's zero accountability, and there's zero incentive for those kids to succeed whatsoever. What options have we provided for them? None. In the public school sector. We've talked about the millions of dollars that we've shoved toward the unions. They're not being educated. They're not being cared for. They're not being fed in some instances. We've degraded the family family unit, so they're not going home to God. They're not going home to a stable unit. Perhaps their one family member is out working 4 jobs to try to put that food on the table. So instead, they're incentivized by social media, by the dopamine hits, and by the apps that encourage them to be violent and to be viral at the expense of the collateral damage, which is good American citizens losing their lives, their livelihoods, and their property. And we're supposed to just call them kids?
Ooh, you know what you just tipped into? So we've been following all these social media trials. Think about the victims in some of these, and people do get hurt in some of these instances. Think about the argument that they can make, like this formed on social media. Are you going to try to call this or block it? And a lot of these people are minors, according to my last guest. The U.S. Attorney, Cully Stimson, said most of the carjackings in Washington, D.C. are by 14-year-olds. I mean, it's a lot. Your thoughts?
It's just a symptom of the breakdown of the family. I mean, obviously, dads, where are you? Stepping in to train your children. I know my daughters, when they were born, as soon as they could understand English, the very first thing I trained them on is that you will not disrespect your mother. That was the #1 rule in our home, and it still is. And from that, you grow respect for mankind, for others, and also for society, and also for our nation, and those individuals that are making this nation great, and the looting you see taking place in these videos. It's just very sad. Breakdown of the family is a big part of this.
I think I thought all great points, the breakdown of the family, the challenges with policy. Another thing is the effort from law enforcement to catch up with something. With social media taking off and allowing this collaboration, they're now turning to, these other takeovers that sometimes use vehicles. Very, very dangerous. These, not necessarily, but there have been a lot of laws that have been put in place to address those kinds of takeovers with
motorcycles.
Vehicles. Yes. And now they're planning to use those laws to effectively react to this in the same way. And one of the other things that I think might potentially be powerful is to going after the organizers civilly, not just criminally, but civilly as well. Now, whether or not there's much to recoup there, but to hold them responsible in some sort of way. So I think law enforcement is also struggling to catch up with this as it gets underway.
So what's interesting about that, you talked about the parents, specifically the father in the home. You start hitting them in the pocketbook, and you might get their attention.
That's true. As a father, I mean, I'll speak to the men out there because I am a man and I am a father. I mean, men should raise their daughters to be an example for the type of man that they would seek to marry and spend their life with. And they should raise their sons to be the type of man that their sons would emulate. And we have a breakdown in society. I just read a statistic. It's either 1 in 4 or 1 in 3 households in the nation are fatherless. Fatherless homes in this nation. It's 3 times the global average. Globally, it's about 7%, and it's 23, depending on what survey you see, up to 33% of fatherless homes in our nation. And the breakdown of the home, like I said, and the fact that these kids aren't getting the stable understanding of respect and those things that dads bring to the table. Moms do too, certainly, but that stable family unit is very impactful on our society, and we've seen it, and we continue to.
Lisa?
Yeah, I mean, the police shouldn't be up to them to parent these kids. I mean, to your point, Captain, it should start with the parents.
Indeed.
And I guarantee if that household was more structured and there were 2 parents checking in on their kids, we would see a reduction in this.
I know if I were in this video and my dad were to see me in that video, he would be first very saddened. He would be take it personally against him, and then as a college student, I'm still under his purview. There'd be repercussions. There would be accountability.
Yeah,
and that's what we don't see.
Yep, and consequences.
Hey everyone, I'm Emily Campagno. Catch me and my co-hosts Harris Faulkner and Kaylee McEnany on Outnumbered every weekday at 12 p.m. Eastern, or set your DVR. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page for daily highlights.